Good morning, students. In the last class, we have completed the lesson Puru the Brave, and I think you have remembered the story. What is the story about? Yes, Alexander was the king of Macedonia. He conquered Greece, Paris, etc. He also made several Indian kings his vassals. Puru was the king of northern India. He was a brave soldier and a true patriot. Alexander wanted to make Puru his vassal, so he sent Puru an offer that he would not fight a battle with Puru if he agreed to be his vassal. But Puru rejected his offer. So a great battle occurred between Alexander's army and Puru's army. It was such a great battle that Alexander's army had to sweat a lot and strive their best to defeat Puru's army. Every Indian soldier fought like a tiger in the battle. The Indian soldiers and generals fought more bravely than the Greek soldiers and generals. But the Indian generals were less skillful than the Greek generals. They followed the old methods of warfare. They depended too much on their elephants. At last, the Greeks were able to defeat Puru's army. Puru continued to fight even when others had left the field. Puru killed at least 100 Greek soldiers with his sword, but he was injured badly, and so the Greek generals were able to capture him. Puru was chained and brought to the camp of Alexander on the banks of the Jhelum. Alexander in his camp was discussing with his Greek generals how the battle of Jhelum went on. Alexander and the generals admitted that the battle of Jhelum would go down not only in the history of their country but also in the history of the world. Everyone praised the Indian army for their bravery and great fight, but pitied them for their poor old methods of warfare. Meanwhile, a soldier came there and said that Puru had been brought to the camp in chains. Then Alexander said that Puru was a king and a king should not be brought in chains. So he ordered them to remove the chains and bring him there. Puru came. Alexander asked Puru why he had rejected his offer. Puru replied that he was a lawful king and so he would never like to be a vassal. Puru said that a patriotic king ought to be proud of being a king, otherwise, he could not be a king. Alexander admired Puru's bravery and self respect, so he said that he wanted to make friends with Puru. Puru said that he would agree to be so provided his kingdom remained independent and Alexander treated him as his equal. Alexander gave him back his kingdom and made friends with Puru. Puru admired the personality of Alexander and called him Alexander the Great. So, this was the story which we have learned in our last class. So, today we are moving to the glossary and comprehension part of this lesson. We will see to them. See the first one. See the first glossary. Glossary, go down means to be recorded. Your Highness means a title of respect used when talking to or about a member of the royal family. Warfare means the act of fighting a war. Your Majesty means the way of addressing royal people. Vassal means a man promising to fight for a king in return for the right to hold land. So, this is the glossary, and moving to the comprehension, tick the correct answer. So, students, here I have already done it for you. You tick your answers in the textbook, or you can underline them also. I have underlined the answers here. See the first one. Alexander asked his soldiers to remove the chains of Puru because. He was sympathetic to Puru. He did not like a brave man like Puru in chains. Puru requested Alexander to remove his chains. Alexander did not dare see Puru in chains. Which one is correct? B. He did not like a brave man like Puru in chains. So the first one is B. See the second. Puru did not accept Alexander's proposal to be a vassal because he was very proud, he was very brave and patriotic, he was not very wise, he did not have respect for Alexander. Which one is correct? Yes, it is B. He was very brave and patriotic. So, second one is B. See the third. Alexander made friends with Puru because Puru accepted that Alexander was really great. Alexander wanted to make use of Puru's services. Alexander liked Puru's bravery and self-respect. Alexander was very kind. So, which one? It is C. Alexander liked Puru's bravery and self-respect. So, the third one is C. Fourth one. Alexander was really great because he defeated Puru. He made friends with a brave king like Puru. He defeated Puru, set him free, respected him, and made friends with him. He was the conqueror of the world. Which one? Why Alexander was really great? Because he defeated Puru, set him free, respected him, and made friends with him. So that is C. Fourth one is C. Now look at the vocabulary. Pick out the antonyms from the text for the words given below. So this one also I have done it for you. I want you to write them in the space provided for you in the textbook. So what they are asking to find out the antonyms, means opposites from the text for the words which they have given. So see the first one, victory. Victory means defeat. Opposite to victory is defeat. Next is timid. Timid. Opposite to timid is brave. Opposite to timid is brave. Next, third is humble. Humble means humble. Opposite to humble is proud. Opposite to humble is proud. Next, fourth one, accept. Opposite to accept is reject. Accept, reject. And the fifth is dependent. Opposite to dependent is independent. Opposite to dependent is independent. So first one is defeat, second is brave, third is proud, fourth is reject, fifth is independent. See the Roman number 2. Fill in the blanks in the following paragraph with the words given in the box. So in this box they have given few words for us. We will see what are those words. Respect, skillful, proposal, lawful, capture, worthy, amazed, conquered, frightened, remain. So these are the words they have given for us. So they are asking us to fill the paragraph with the suitable words. So see here, I know that you are very skillful. You write skillful in the blank. Okay. I know that you are very skillful and worthy. And worthy. Again in the blank you write worthy. First blank you have to write skillful, and second blank you have to write worthy. I know that you are very skillful and worthy of the position you hold, but I am really amazed. You have to write amazed in the blank. In the third blank you have to write amazed. But I am really amazed to know that you feel as though you have conquered the world. Again in the fourth blank you have to write conquered, as though you have conquered the world. These days nobody is being frightened by the other. So the fifth blank what you have to write is frightened. These days nobody is being frightened by the other. I would like to make a proposal so that you will remain humble and lawful. So see here, sixth blank. I would like to make a proposal. In the sixth blank you have to write proposal so that you will remain. In the seventh blank you have to write remain. In the seventh blank remain, so that you will remain humble and lawful. In the eighth blank you have to write lawful. I hope my words capture your imagination and you respect me as your teacher. So your ninth blank will be capture. I hope my words capture your imagination and your respect. 10th blank is respect, and you respect me as your teacher. So see here again I am reading. I know that you are very skillful and worthy of the position you hold, but I am really amazed to know that you feel as though you have conquered the world. These days nobody is being frightened by the other. I would like to make a proposal so that you will remain humble and lawful. I hope my words capture your imagination and you respect me as your teacher. I think you have understood and you have written that in your textbook. Now we'll be moving to the grammar part. Roman number 1. Let's have a look at the following sentences from the text. My kingdom, first one, my kingdom should remain independent. What is the word underlined here? Should. See the second, you should treat me as your equal. Again in the second one also should is underlined. See the third, I must say every Indian soldier fought like a tiger. In the third sentence, must is underlined. In sentence 1, should indicates obligation. In the first sentence, should indicates obligation, whereas in 2, it indicates condition. So in the first sentence, should indicates obligation. In the second sentence, should indicates condition. In sentence 3, must is used to indicate insistence on the part of the speaker or necessity. It is also used when the speaker has authority over the listener. It is important to understand how the modals should and must are used. People sometimes use should to indicate something that is desirable and must to indicate obligation. However, some people use them interchangeably. So here they are saying that we should know how should and must are used. Now read the conversation between a doctor and a patient and fill in the blanks with should not, and must not. So I have already done it for you. I want you to write them in your textbook in the space provided. Okay, see the conversation now. Doctor, it is the conversation between a doctor and patient. Doctor, Mr. Rao, what exactly is your problem? Then patient says, I have been suffering from gastric problem for a long time. Then again doctor says, Mr. Rao, I must say you should not eat non-vegetarian or spicy food for some time. So here in the third, doctor say, what did he say? Mr. Rao, I must. In the blank, you have to write must. I must say you should not eat. Again, in the second blank, you have to write should not. I must say you should not eat non vegetarian or spicy food for some time. Again, patient says, can I eat boiled eggs or omelets, doctor? Then what did doctor say? Isn't an egg non-vegetarian? You must not eat any non-vegetarian food for quite some time. So again in the third blank you have to write must not. You must not eat any non-vegetarian food for quite some time. In fact, you should have stopped eating it long ago. In the fourth blank, you have to write should. In fact, you should have stopped eating it long ago. You must consult me in a week. Again, in the fifth blank, you have to write must. You must consult me in a week. Again, patient says, I am sorry, doctor. I won't eat non-vegetarian food any longer. You're quite correct, doctor. I must not take your advice and must avoid eating non-vegetarian and spicy food. So, what is the sixth blank here? Must not. I must not take your advice and must. Again, seventh blank is must. Avoid eating non-vegetarian and spicy food. Thank you very much, doctor. Then doctor says, you are welcome. I think you should remember my advice. So the eighth blank will be should. I think you should remember my advice. See the Roman number 2. Look at the following sentences from the text. But their generals, first one, but their generals are not so good as ours. Second, the Indian generals are not so skillful as the Greek generals. Third, it has been a great battle, perhaps the greatest of my life. In the above sentences 1 and 2, the Indian generals are compared with Greek generals. The third sentence means that it was the greatest of the best battle of all his battles. When we want to compare one thing with the other, we use degrees of comparison. Positive, comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. If we compare two things or two sets of things, we use positive or comparative forms of adjectives. If we compare more than two things or two sets of things, we use the superlative form of adjectives. We can transform positive degree into comparative and superlative and vice versa. So here what they are saying is, if we want to compare a sentence, so we use generally degrees of comparison. What are they? Positive, comparative and superlative. So generally if we compare two things, we use positive and comparative. Whereas if we use two or more sentences, means more than two sentences, we use superlative degree also. So see here, let us observe the sentences 1 and 2 above. Their generals are not so good as ours. So here underlined word is good. In the second sentence, the Indian generals are not so skillful as the Greek generals. So what is the second one underlined here? Skillful. The underlined words in the above sentences are adjectives. These are the positive forms of adjectives. The other forms of these adjectives are given below. So in these two sentences, good, skillful, these two are positive degree. So here below they have given remaining 2 degrees. One is comparative and the other is superlative. So how we call, we see. In the positive form we call good as, in positive we say good, comparative better, superlative best, good, better, best. Whereas skillful, more skillful, most skillful, skillful, more skillful, most skillful. The two sentences are said to be in the positive degree since the adjectives are in the positive degree. They can be transformed into comparative degree by changing the adjectives into comparative degree and making certain other changes. Sentences 1 and 2 can be changed into comparative forms as shown below. So, here they have the sentences are in positive form because it is in the positive degree. So, we can change them as comparative degree also. If we change them into comparative degree, how the sentences will be, we can see here. First one, our generals are better than their generals. So here we are comparing Indian army with means Puru's army with Alexander's army. So how we can say our generals are better than their generals. Second, the Greece generals are more skillful than the Indian generals. So here we are comparing them. Now look at the third sentence. It is the largest battle of my life. The above sentence can be turned into the comparative and positive degrees as shown below. So even the greatest, the word greatest also we can change them in, convert into comparative and positive degrees. So how it will be, we can see here. It is greater than any other battle of my life. No other battle of my life is so great as this. Now look at the following sentence in the superlative degree of comparison. Puru is one of the bravest kings in the world. This sentence means that there are a few kings in the world who are as brave as Puru. It also means that Puru is not only the bravest king in the world. Let's see how the above sentence can be transformed into comparative and positive degrees of comparison. So, the above sentence, see here, it is in the superlative degree. Which one? Puru is one of the bravest kings in the world. This sentence is in superlative degree. So, we can change it into comparative degree and positive degree. So, if we change them, how it will be, we can see here. Puru is braver than other kings in the world. Puru is braver than many other kings in the world. Very few kings in the world are as brave as Puru. Observe the following forms of comparison of some adjectives. So here they have given a positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree of some words. So we can see here nice, nicer, nicest, short, shorter, shortest, big, bigger, biggest, great, greater, greatest, fast, faster, fastest, worthy, worthier, worthiest, frightened, more frightened, most frightened, lawful, more lawful, most lawful. I think you have understood this, and your homework is, I want you to write these degrees of comparison. This one, positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. These words I want you to write them in your notes and send me, and we'll be completing the remaining part of the lesson in the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.